Have you guys ever heard Jordan Peterson talk about God and are feeling stupid or not knowing what he's saying because it sounds like he's talking in some foreign language? Well, you're not alone. He's a pretty intelligent guy and it's difficult to understand what he's saying sometimes. So in this video, I'm going to try to figure out what he means by God when he uses that word, and how he understands it is just so not clear how he defines God. So we're going to be looking into that today. And by the end of this video, you'll have a much better idea of what Peterson is talking about when he says God. So one thing Jordan Peterson believes is human psyche. It's not a ridiculous claim to believe that human psyche can be a good model for us to help understand reality better. I should put that better. Um, he's saying that it is reasonable to look at human psyche, meaning the values we act on, the experiences we feel, and the feelings we feel. All of those things. It sounds like. So, in other words, it sounds like he's saying it is reasonable to believe that, or it is reasonable to look at human psyche as a model for us to understand reality better. And he's saying things like, the scientific world and the physical world isn't the only thing that is reality. He's saying how we feel, how we experience things, and how we decide to act on, like what values we decide to act on. Those are also part of reality. So let's say you lose your job and now you're left unemployed. And if we ask if you look at this situation from a scientific or like a facts only perspective, it would be like, well, this guy got terminated. Now his income is zero, etc. What Jordan Peterson is saying is that, yes, that's good, but it's not the whole picture. We need to also look at, if you're trying to see what the reality is, we should also look at the human psyche. That person who lost a job, how is he feeling now? What about, him being supported by his family and friends in that time period? What about him feeling that fear about not being able to provide for his family? What about him now what about him feeling hopeful about the future as he starts looking for a new job? Like those feelings and experiences, the suffering that people go through, they are also part of reality. So that's what Jordan Peterson is saying, is that we shouldn't just look at the facts, we should also look at these other things. And he calls that the structure of human psyche. These are our values, our experiences, the way we feel, love, fear, etc. Things like that. So if the human psyche is a good model for us to understand reality, then what is at the core of this psyche? Like what influences us, or what has influenced humanity for a very long time? Like what is it that helped us shape our perspective around things? What has been the core thing that has shaped our beliefs and morals? What tells us to look at killing someone as a bad thing? Like if you're just killing and murdering out of hatred, like why is that a bad thing, and why is helping others a good thing? Where did we get that from? How did we come to believe in the values that we believe in? What shapes our human psyche? Sounds like if we understand that, we are going to have a better idea of what the reality is. And Jordan Peterson, he would say that at the top of our human psyche, like whatever organizes it, at the core of it, is highest good, or God. And how does he mean that? Like, what is he trying to say there? So that is very interesting. If you think about it, it's like a pyramid, upside down pyramid. At the core of it, there is something that is so important, so strong, that it has impacted the way we think, and it has shaped our morals. It has shaped the way we think about good and evil. It has shaped the way we think about what we should fear and what we should pursue. It has shaped our uh, beliefs and moral system, and something at the core of it, and that's what Jordan Peterson calls the highest good, or God, as far as I understand it. And if we look into what he means by that, or how he's using that word. So I heard Jordan Peterson say something like this. He said that we are supposed to be subordinate to God. And partly what that means is that we are subordinate even if we are sovereign to the principle of sovereignty itself. Wow. I'm lost. I don't know what he's talking about. I had to ask AI for some help. But after digging into this, what it sounds like he's saying is, so what does sovereign mean? Sovereign means having freedom and responsibility. And it means being a ruler in a way, because they have control, they have authority over something, and they also have some kind of a freedom to an extent, So sovereign means having freedom and responsibility. And then he says, to the principle of sovereignty itself. When he says the principle of sovereignty itself, that means like the original order that pre-exists, like the most truthful thing that there is. Like you can't change it; it pre-exists, and that kind of connects with the highest good thing that he said earlier. But that's what he means by we should be sovereign, like we should submit ourselves to the principle of sovereignty itself. Or we should be subordinate to the principle of sovereignty itself. And so it sounds like what he's saying is that we need to submit ourselves to the highest good, the pre-existing order that already exists. And it sounds like that's what he considers to be God. And here's an example to help you understand this better. Imagine there's a judge, in a court, and the judge brings justice. They don't invent justice every day. They don't make up new laws every day. Like, they don't invent justice. They take the pre-existing book of justice that they have, or the rules that they have, and that judge falls under that and respects those rules and follows them. And the judge has the authority the judge has the freedom and responsibility to do what the judge can do in their position. So Jordan Peterson said that even if we are sovereign, we should submit ourselves or be subordinate to the principle of sovereignty itself. So that's what I'm trying to connect with this judge example, is that even if you're sovereign, meaning even if you're at an authority level, you're some kind of ruler, that's what sovereign means, is like you have freedom to an extent and responsibility. So you're more like a ruler, and so that's what, if judges in that position, they are honoring the existing principle that already exists, the rules that already exist. They don't invent new laws, new justice every day. So that's what I connected with what Jordan Peterson shared earlier. So if you understand this correctly, human psyche can be a good model for us to understand reality. And what shapes human psyche, at the core of it, is the highest good. And the highest good is the pre-existing order that already exists. You can't change it. And so that's what Jordan Peterson, when he says the highest good or God, I think that's partly what he means. That's really interesting how he went deep into that. And because Jordan Peterson talks so much about the Bible, there's a part of me that wants to draw a conclusion that, Jordan Peterson considers the Bible, the principle of the Bible, as the pre-existing truth. I think he also said something about this on a Joe Rogan podcast, where he said it that the Bible is what makes Bible like the most truthful thing, something like that. He said, and he said, the stories that are from the Bible. In short, I think Jordan Peterson believes that the principles of the Bible are the highest good, meaning they do the best job at bringing order and the best moral system, the best order over all humanity. So maybe Peterson believes that the biblical picture of God represents the highest possible ordering principle. That's it for today, everyone. If you liked this video, check out this other video. It should pop somewhere on the screen. It's going to be about religion or God. Other than that, thank you for watching. Have a good day.